Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is for you, and welcome to the July 2021 Power Apps Community Call. Thank you for joining us today. As usual, I'm hanging out with my friend Charles Sterling here, and I'm Todd Baginski, and we are bringing you the community call again. In case you haven't joined us on this community call, we do this every single month on the third Wednesday. You'll find us doing this at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And so what do we do in this call? Well, what we usually do is every month we have people come on the call, and they're either from Microsoft or they're a professional who works with Power Apps, and they share cool things that they're working on. And we all learn great things from each other and show off cool things we're working on. Sometimes we get the product teams from Microsoft to give us the latest news on and what's coming, and deep dives as well. We always focus on the community and what people are doing and what the latest news is in Power Apps. And then we have QA throughout the call as well. We have a big team of folks who brings this call to you every week. And I like to say thanks to every single one of them. So obviously I mentioned Charles and myself, Todd Baginski, but Dana, Andrew, Heather, and Gabriel are all playing a part every single month to chop this up into separate videos afterward, produce it, put it on the internet, and make it available for thousands more people to watch, besides the hundreds that tune in here each month. So thank you to our whole crew who makes this happen for the community. Speaking of the community, and I mentioned the chat channel, I see the chat channel is active right now. If you have any questions about Power Platform, maybe even a project you're working on, you're stuck, you want to get unblocked, you don't know how to get started, or you're awesome at it and you just got stuck and you want to see if someone can help you, this is a great place to do it. In the chat channel, we've got Power Apps Fast Track Recognized Solution architects, team members from the Power Apps team at Microsoft, Power Apps MVPs, Power Apps champions, and a whole collection of folks who we all call ourselves Power Addicts who love this technology. If you would like to contribute to the community, we have a fun hashtag PowerAppsCC for Power Apps Community Call. And I like to make this nice word art graphic every single month of all the people who've tweeted out something cool with Power Apps CC this month. So thank you. As you can see, our Power App community is really strong and alive and well. So that brings us to our agenda for today. Today is my favorite call of the year every time. And I'm not knocking anybody who ever comes on any other month, but this is all about fun this month. This is a contest we're having this month, and we call it the Demo Extravaganza. It's our third one that we've held. And so Rory, Krishna, Venkat, Nicholas, and Matt, and myself a little bit, are going to present some apps that we entered into this Demo Extravaganza contest. And the community voted on the top 5 they wanted to see in this call. So in this call, we are going to present all 5 of those cool, fun apps. And then everyone on this call is going to pick who wins this year. We've got a voting capability right built in the team, so it's going to be, I think, even more exciting and real time this year. So we're going to have the Demo Extravaganza this month. We're going to go through all of the cool different apps that everybody has. As usual, we'll share the latest news and community contributions and start the voting. And then we'll loop back after we get that segment of the call done and see who won today. So good luck to everybody. I would also like to mention one more thing. There were over 20 people who entered a Power App into this contest. And having put one in myself with a bunch of other folks on my team, I know how much time goes into that. And I bet everybody here who's presenting today is probably thinking, yep, I put a lot of hours into this myself. I think that everybody who submitted an app should get a chance to be on the call here. And so what we're going to be doing is reaching out to every single person who submitted an app in the Demo Extravaganza this year. We're going to be inviting you to come on the show in the future. And we're going to change the format of our show a little bit to accommodate that. We usually have 3 15-minute presentations per month, but we're going to change it. We're going to do 2 15-minute presentations per month and 1 8-minute presentation, just like you're going to see today, of all these apps that have been in the Demo Extravaganza. Everybody worked so hard to create these apps, and we really think they deserve the right to come on and show it to everyone. And I'm sure everyone wants to see all the apps too. I know I do. Okay, so enough for our complicated agenda this month. Let's get right to it. So Rory, welcome. Thank you for being back again, joining us from the UK today. And I can't wait to see your app that you've got. This is the app that you use to manage your Power Platform Learn, right?
That's right, yeah. So I wrote a course. I thought it was going to be about 230 lessons, so 230 separate videos, and it turned out I did 300 in the end. And so it was the app. Yeah, I know. It's only me and my mum that have actually watched all of it so far. And yeah, I've given it away for free because I'm not very good at marketing. I used to be an accountant. So yeah, but this is the app that I use to do it. I'm just going to do my best to tell you some bits and pieces.
Super. Well, I'll let you take it over here and share all the goodness.
Okay, so I'm kicking off. We are in the Canvas Course Explorer. It was only ever intended to create just one course, but as it turns out, it feels like it's much more of an ideas explorer than it is even a course explorer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head. I'm actually not going to go through the edit experience. I'm actually going to go on to the app. And I'm just going to jump into it and just maybe go full screen on it. And then we're going to sort of dip into the things I want to tell you about here. So the first thing is the first thing I will do, in fact, is do a little bit about me. So each of the whole of this presentation is the actual app itself. So about me. In fact, I need to just jump out here, because it is a little bit on the confusing side. Where am I? I thought I'm just going to jump out here. There's my About Me thing. This is effectively like a lesson, so I can then just jump into it there, and then we're in the About Me lesson. So it's about me, and I just sort of jump through. I'm an accountant. I'm also an MVP. I'm a Power Platform Solution Architect, and I work at Hybrid in the UK. I work alongside Peter Veenstra, who blogs at sharepains.com. He's a brilliant guy. And if you want to look at the courses that I created, you need to go to powerplatformlearn.academy. I also set up Power Apps for Kids with Peter Veenstra and some other really cool people. They do work so hard on this, so I'd thoroughly recommend you come and join us sometime. Got my own YouTube channel, and that sort of leaves me falling off the end of the world. So that's me. Hopefully I've kept that to quite a short period of time, because I got loads more to tell you. So just talking about the course itself, or rather the app itself. Let's hope I'm actually on the right page here. So the origins of this course was actually that I literally couldn't sleep. I was suffering from such bad insomnia that I was kind of really struggling to kind of keep it together, and I was sort of almost losing knowledge, and I just didn't want that to happen. So I thought, well, how am I going to actually kind of keep this together? And I thought, well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and encapsulate this. I was not happy with all the YouTube things where people just dip in and out and things, you don't have any structure. So I wanted to create something which fundamentally had structure. So that was the origin of the course. Now, I think that there's one little trick on this I'm going to do, and that's going to put a wrap too, because I've got a few bits and pieces. Do not do that. Jump on there. So about me. Yeah. So it's been my Mount Everest. The course itself runs to 300 lessons. That's 42 hours. And it's actually 360,000 words. That's actually about the last 2.5 Harry Potter books of words. In fact, I'm going to jump out now. I'm going to show you I've actually enumerated all of the words of the course. So if I said something like component, there is a trick to this, but I'm not going to tell you. Well, I can't tell. I've got time to tell you. But if I want to find out all the places where I say component, I find it here. I can find the exact lesson that I find it on, and I can actually navigate to the video and the part of the video that tells me that. It's just a little bit geeky, but it's kind of cool as well, because it takes me to the exact minutes and seconds where I actually say the word component. So it's a nice, interesting idea. You can see it goes to 3 minutes and 37 seconds there, but I haven't got time to tell you about that. So let's jump back my Mount Everest. Okay, architecture-wise, it all sits on top of Dataverse, and so I should be able to show you that this is the solution that I created here. And essentially, we've got the data model is kind of straightforward. You have courses have modules have lessons, and lessons have lesson points. And so as far as the lessons are concerned, there are 300 of those. It's also an ideas organizer, and fundamentally, before I started doing this, it was an ideas organizer before it was actually a PowerPoint presenter. So this is a replacement for PowerPoint, and so I just used the tool to present my ideas, and that's what we're looking at here. So just remember, this whole thing is a Power App all the way through. So once again, it's a Canvas app and a model-driven app. We're looking at the Canvas app, looking at the Dataverse data model, but by the same token, we could just as easily be jumping out. We could jump onto the About Me section, and this would take me directly out to that part of the model-driven app. And it's kind of useful from time to time to be able to do that. As I say, it's a PowerPoint presenter. You'll actually notice that every time a point comes in, it's slightly bolder than all the other points. I really took a lot of time to think about Gestalt principles. It's my project manager. It takes me to different parts of the project. And well, what can I say? 303 lessons. You get to listen to me for a whole 42 hours. And if that doesn't make you fall asleep, nothing will. What can I say? It's you can go to www.powerplatformlearn.academy. You can enroll in that, and some people on the call will have done that already. And and the final thing I want to show you, and this is the coolest thing ever. This is the coolest thing ever, is the Power BI stories, because I worked out that you can actually use the same principle to actually tell a story in Power Apps. So this is the story of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. But actually, that's not the story of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. So if I jump in here, what we should see is that we should see a Power BI report embedded within a Power App. And not only can I do that, I can actually make it go full screen, and it really, really is a Power BI report. So it's got images and all those things associated. Well, I can just jump across the different parts of that Power BI report, and it will jump across. And I think that's super cool. And so I don't know what I'm doing for time, because I am going like the clappers here. But this is the story of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, his story from riches to rags, to the time when he was, he couldn't do anything anymore, and all the way back up to riches. And hey, maybe that's the story for many of us in the Power Platform as well. Now, that roughly takes me to the end. I have tried to keep this super quick, as well as bouncing around the place. And so, why would you want to vote for this particular app? Now, I'm just going to F11 that. The reasons for voting: it's got a Dataverse backend, and Dataverse is cool. It's got a Canvas app. It's got a model-driven app. It's simple. I haven't shown you how easy it is to create these things because I haven't got time. But let's face it, if I was able to create 300 lessons, it better be simple.
Yeah, it can't be too hard.
and it's got a Power BI integration that probably hasn't been seen before anywhere. So, and it's portable, and I love it.
That's awesome.
That takes me to the end. Thank you.
Incredible. And thank you for all the things you do that this app enables right here. Lots of folks telling you all kinds of great things in chat there.
I didn't check my time, but that felt like about 8 minutes.
Do you have a YouTube video that walks through it at a deeper level or anything and kind of shows how you built different pieces in it?
I haven't. There's a lot to be said for it, but there's a lot in it. There's just so much in there. Yeah, just things like how you create that experience of being, because like whilst we're looking at this here, if I bounce back, I actually wrote a little course for the Power Apps community called where I had the presenters. I click on the presenters, and I've got Todd there, and and then I've got got the guitar, and got the cross, and you got Chuck here, and he's got Power BI and fishing. And if I click on the image here, then what will actually happen is that you've got Power BI. So these things here, although it's a bespoke background, some of the little bits of tech in there, I would describe it as a simple app. It's actually fundamentally, this is what the Power Platform does. And I would love to see more apps just like this, because there's nothing as such special about this. It's just relationships, tables, galleries, and even the forms. They're actually just forms. They're actually the most basic form that you can actually create. So there's nothing even special about it. So I would just say, hey, this is what the platform can be. And yeah, good luck with anyone with it.
Awesome. Thank you very much again. That's really great.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going rapid fire today. Next one up is Krishna with the number puzzle.
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
Okay. This slide will give everybody the overview of the puzzle, what I'm going to show today. So about me, my name is Krishna Rachakonda. I've been a contributor in the Power Apps and Power Automate community forums. I'm a dual super user in both the communities. Early this year, I received Microsoft MVP award as well for the program. And I do occasionally create some videos of my work in the YouTube and some of the business cases which I generally come across and automate with the Power Apps and Power Automate. So you can follow my YouTube channel there, and you can also reach out to me with Twitter and LinkedIn. So I'll start playing a small game, how we can play with this puzzle game, and then I'll go into the details. So I built this this number puzzle. I used when I was a kid. I used to play this with a small plastic board with all these numbers around, and we need to shuffle around and to make them in a particular order. So I automated that puzzle with the Power Apps. It doesn't use Power Automate or any other other components in the Power Platform. So if you see, there are 3 different types of puzzles, 3 by 3. It's all metrics. How many? How deep you want to go? How many numbers you want to have in your puzzle, and also the challenge level. Challenge level basically gives you the unlimited number of moves, and also I did not restrict on the time, only the moves. I gave that. And let's see the 3 by 3, and let's give the freestyle, and I enter my name here. It will give us the 9 numbers, and once we click on start button, it enables the numbers, and you can see the time is also clicking started, and as soon as I click on any number, the number of moves starts. So if I click, all I need to do is rearrange all these numbers in a particular order, like 1 to 9. So all I need to do is just shuffle these numbers like this, and I need to move the numbers in a particular order. Okay, like this. Yeah. So for now, like, I'll not play anymore. We'll go back to the instructions, and here, if we want to see the instruction, how different instructions, we can see that here. And also, if you're playing the this particular game in a mobile device, I'm storing all the history of the wins, as well as we can also see what's your speed, and also the number of moves as well. Because I'm showing in the browser, I don't have any of the previous history. But if you play, I'm using the offline capabilities of the Power Apps. So now, actually, I presented this app, how I built in multiple conferences to explain the kids, basically. I presented in Power Apps for Kids in Rory's one of the meeting as well. And recently in the Spanish summit as well. So to explain that, I created a separate Power App. So if we go there, this is the additional Power App I created to explain for the kids. So to explain the Power App Studio and the Power Effects components. So in this puzzle, I I use different PowerFX functions like the images, the components like images, collection, sequence, all of that, shuffle, gallery, all of that. So to explain each of them again, for example, if we go to sequence, I created a screen here. If we enter a number, like for example, I want to build a 3x3 puzzle. So I'll enter 9 and click on collection, and also if I see at the screen on the bottom, we can see the function, the PowerFX function, what we used to create the numbers. We don't need to hard code these numbers. We can use the function called sequence. So I use that. And also to shuffle these numbers, I use the function called shuffle in the PowerFX. So with shuffle, if I click on it, I can shuffle as many times as I want. So we can shuffle all these numbers. And after that, coming back again, I placed all these numbers in a gallery. So just like these galleries, how we can use the galleries, we can place the numbers as well. So different component, different PowerFX functions I use, the patch function, count rows, lookup, variables, timer, all of that within this puzzle. And the steps I use to build the app are 6 steps. I add like first we need to, these steps are for building a 3x3 matrix. So we need 9 numbers. So add 9 numbers to the gallery and fill the background to the numbers and hide the number 9, because we need to have an empty spot on the puzzle. So the last number, which is 9, I'm hiding. If it is a 4x4, it will be 16. After I generate the numbers and adding it to gallery, I'm also adding another, for each cell, I'm adding index values to each cell so that I know which number is staying in which location in the gallery. And then I'm swapping the numbers, and also we need to handle some unreasonable moves as well. I'll explain you that in a bit. And then finally I'm checking for the puzzle completion. So to check all these 6 numbers, again, I built a few other screens as well. Let's go and build. I already built 9 numbers here. So let's go to the next screen. So once I add it, I need to go back here. Let me re-add 9, clear, collection, and then with the shuffle, and then first, I'm not using first 10 numbers. Previously I thought of using it, but I did not update this particular screen. But and then once we go there, I added a gallery onto the screen. The first step is add numbers to the gallery and then fill the background to the each of the numbers. Every number is a button, so that when we click on it, we can write some functions to do different operations. So in the gallery, I placed a button and I gave the number as a label to that. And I gave the button's label, and then I hide the number 9. So if you see here, the number 9 is here. I click on populate the gallery, it hides the number 9. So I'm in the visible property, I put this. And then now I add the index values for each of these numbers. So you can see the index numbers, and then swapping the numbers and handling unreasonable moves. Swapping numbers means when you want to swap 2 numbers, then basically I took like one intermediate number, like 99 or something. Like how to swap numbers, like take the value, store it in a third variable, and then store the second variable into the first one, and then like that I was swapping the numbers. And unreasonable moves means, for example, if you see here, when I click on 3 should come only here. It should not go to the top. And also 5 should not come to the diagonally to the position of 5, this particular place. So handling those moves, I handled that as well. And finally, checking for the puzzle completion. So what I'm doing is I'm reading all the values from the gallery and making, if all the numbers are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like if they are in the particular order, I'm comparing it to like a string comparison, and then if it completes, then the puzzle gets complete, and you will see some picture in that. So overall, like I built this app almost like a year ago, but I wanted to enroll in the Demo Extravaganza, so I enrolled it to. But this is really helpful for anybody who really starts the Power Apps. If they are a new beginner for a Power App, building some apps will give you more command on the PowerFX functions and different components in the Power Apps. So I built that time almost a year ago. So thought of sharing with everybody. And this took for me, I initially started like it took me like a couple of weekends because I was changing the layouts and other things. So this is all about the puzzle. That's all I have taught.
That's fantastic. I love how your app breaks down the different steps in there, and then I can totally see how in design mode you could open that up and then say, oh, look, here's the code that did that, and connect the dots the way you have your steps. Awesome, man. This is great. My son's been asking me about how to make more games and Power Apps. I think this might be a really good one for him to start with. Really cool. Thanks for sharing it. Did you make all those graphics yourself too?
No, I picked up from some websites, and I use the image control to put the background of this puzzle is a single image. I just put it applied as a background, and this is just a GIF file. I got everything from the web.
Well, you're really good at combining things. That is really cool. Looks great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. All right. Lots of applause we saw there. We're moving on now. Next demo in the extravaganza comes to us, compliments of Venkat and his team as well. Venkat, how long did it take you guys to build this? This is big.
So
this app is really big.
I would say this is just a rough, wild guesstimate, maybe around like 200 hours. Neem and Akash, feel free to chime in. Because we met fairly regularly on weekends and nights, and so Neem is our muscle. Like she did all the heavy lifting. There is a substantial amount of effort that went into it. But yeah, maybe 200 hours. So yeah. So yeah, this kept us busy for sure.
It sounds like it. Cool. Can't wait to learn all about it.
All right, awesome. So we'll jump right in, and we know we have only 8 minutes, so we will we have a story for you. Okay, so we'll try to tell you how we plan to solve these effects of a pandemic through Power Platform. So the reality here is that we are all reeling from the effects of COVID still, right? So if you look at the last 15 months or so, I mean, civilization practically collapsed. And one of the things, so the most essential element of the fabric of our society, which is small businesses, they suffered a lot from COVID, right? So what we are proposing here is how you can use something like Power Platform to kind of strengthen that fabric and make sure that if something like this happens again, these small businesses have the ability to kind of stay afloat, not only stay afloat, but also be even more successful. So really quickly, here's our team. So Neem Doan, she's a solution architect and also a fast track recognized solution architect. So double solution architect right there. And as I said, she's the muscle of our whole plan here. Akash is also a software engineer. He's in the Power Platform space for quite a while. He's our Power Portals champion. And yours truly, I work for a GSI as well. I take care of the Power Platform business for North America. My only claim to fame here is that I designed the logo that you will see. It's whatever. So anyway, so let's jump in. Now, again, just to put things in perspective, when the pandemic was announced last March, within a few weeks, within 6 weeks, as you can see, by May 12, 2020, more than 100,000 small businesses in US shuttered permanently. And that's a substantial damage. Now, only imagine the kind of damage that has happened since then till now, right? So this is our big problem statement right here. And, just to digress a bit, if you're interested in reading about this, there's a bunch of good research done by McKinsey. I've added some URLs in the notes, so feel free to research and read more about it. So for a lot of these businesses, I mean, think about some of these are like real institutions. Think about like restaurants and bookstores. Those are places that have been around for decades. Like our families, our parents, our grandparents, they've visited these businesses very religiously, and now they're gone. So for any business that's out there that's trying to come out of this like pandemic situation, now, for them, the problem statement is, how might I get my business up and running again and think about the future of my business? So not only do I have to survive now, but if this happens again, what do I do to stay afloat and still be successful? So we are proposing a solution through a story. So we came up with this like fake plant shop established in 1961. It's our friendly neighborhood plant shop that's been around for quite a while. Traditionally depended only on foot traffic. As you can imagine, the idea is that you must walk into my store to buy plants. There's no other way to buy plants from us. And because of that, when COVID hit, our business suffered quite a bit and was on the brink of closing permanently. So now the idea here is that we are coming back to business, we are resurfacing. So what do? So we got to like pivot a little bit. We must take our business online, right? So there's that. Second, we must embrace technology. So we will use technology to reach out to potential customers proactively. Earlier, we were saying, come to us. Now we are saying, we will come to you. Similarly, on that same note, provide the customers abilities to educate themselves as well. It's not about just selling and buying. It's about enabling you to be more comfortable with the plants and just like form a strong community. We will also start delivering plants locally. So this is also in contradiction, right? So the way we operated earlier was you must come to us to buy plants from us. But now we are saying, actually, we will deliver it to you. Just buy things from us online. Once we pilot this program, after that, we will expand. We'll do lots of more other things. So that's the theme of this solution. Now, keep in mind that we are a small business. We have very little money. Actually, we don't have any money. So we got to keep our operating costs low. But at the same time, we have to be efficient and yet increase our profit margins. So that's a whole theme here. What you'll see today is basically like three personas. One is how, through this solution, how we will interact with our customers online through social media monitoring, etc. When it comes to delivering plants, so again, we have to be very careful. We don't have money for gas, right? So we cannot be inefficient. How do we do like proper route planning so that we minimize our driving and hence save costs? And the final thing is, some like abilities that we want to provide to our customers. So, someone who's like an absolute plant lover and they find a plant out there, we can help them identify through our app, like what that plant is, etc. So on that note, let me just get into the solution right there. So as a store owner, so one of the things, like I mentioned, we are embracing technology. So before we open our doors, what we do is we just kind of go on social media and we see what kind of things people are saying about plants. So this is one of the solutions that I use. And you can see on the top that there are certain like hashtags that we are monitoring, very much related to plants. And you will see that people are saying all sorts of things, plants in office, people share their sentiments and photographs, etc. So we are carefully just looking at what's out there and who we can interact with. And lo and behold, we see this guy who says, I saw this at a friend's house, this plant. I love it and want it. Anyone know what that is, what this plant is? Now, I, as a store employee, even though I work at a plant store, I'm still fairly new to this plant world. I don't exactly know what that is, but I know how to identify it because using Power Platform or Power Apps, we have this app now that will help me identify what that plant is. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to save that photo, download it, upload it right here in this app, and press this identify button. And within a few seconds, what it's going to do is it will tell me what that plant is. So obviously, I know that it's a goldfish plant now. It gives me all these photos. It gives me some description as well. And guess what? It also gives me a link to this plant on our own website. So if I click this share button right here, it leads me to this goldfish plant URL that I can just share with the customer. So what I can do now is I go to this person's Twitter and I say, hey, guess what? We actually have this plant. So here's a little blurb that I'll write. I give them the URL and I say, buy this plant from us and let us know if you have any questions. So I hit reply, and this is how I'm interacting with this person now, right? Now, when this person goes to our website, they look at all the details and they see that, okay, this is $20, I will reserve it. And when they reserve, they get a notice, doesn't want to open, but they get a notice that says, hey, we will deliver this plan for you. Thank you for your business. It also tells them that, by the way, we have a membership for $15 a month. You can get access to all sorts of amazing videos and education, newsletters, and so many other cool things. Something to keep in mind, right? So this is how now we are doing business in a very proactive manner. This is completely opposite of what we used to do, and this works very well for us. Now, the second thing is, so now that this business has happened, it's now time to deliver, right? So it's not only to this person, but in a day, we may have like 10, 15, 20 deliveries. So we gotta be like pretty efficient about that. So for that, what we will do is we will, imagine me wanting to, like load up my car and I need to start driving. I'm already stressed out. So what I'll do is I will just say, hey Siri, start drop off. So what you will see is that it opens an app for me and it tells me that all the deliveries that I have to do. The first thing you will notice is there are all these like quick actions as well. I can very easily call my customers, SMS them, driving directions, etc. But what I'll do here is I will select some of the deliveries that I have to do. So for this session, I will just choose some of the addresses in Illinois. All right. And when I click plan route, what you will see on the next screen is it gives me the most optimal route that I can take, which minimizes my driving. Right on the top, you will see that it tells me, hey, it's going to take you 3 hours and 59 minutes, and it's total of 196 miles of driving. And then it also tells me that here's the order that you should follow. Go to Jennifer first in Wheeling, then Cassie in Rolling Meadows, etc., etc. What's interesting is that if I didn't have this, I might just assume that, hey, this is actually very close to me. I should go here first. But guess what? That's not the most efficient track. And also just to show you, if I change this order right here, you will see on the top that the duration changes, the distance changes, right? So you're already like, by not following the optimal path, you're already maximizing your driving, you're spending more money on gas money, etc., which is a big no-no for someone like us. So right from here, I can just, get driving directions. And once I start delivering, so once I get to Jennifer's house, for example, I can just click the SMS button and I can say, Jennifer, I delivered your plant. Thank you for your business. And then I move on to the next person. So that's the delivery aspect of it, where we are using a very simple Power App to maximize our deliveries and minimize our driving, minimize our frustrations on the road, etc., etc. Now, the third element, really quickly. So our customer is very happy with us, so they bought the membership. They have access to a lot of information from us. They happen to be at a party in the evening. Okay, so the first thing they decide to do is they decide to show off this app that they have through this new business called Green Thumb. So what they do is they tell their friends, hey, I'm going to show you something cool. And they go, hey, Siri, open Green Thumb. So now what they're seeing is this app that they have through the membership, where they can buy all sorts of plans. They can also watch all these videos that tells them how to take care of their plants, etc. And this is really helpful because this person is a complete beginner. They actually may not have a green thumb, right? So while they're showing this off, someone shows them this plant right here. Okay, so they're like, man, I love this plant and this is just so beautiful. I wish I knew what it was. Also, for the person who has the app, they go, oh man, I love this plant too. I wish I knew what this is. I want to buy it too. But guess what? They have access to an app now. And if you remember the app that we used earlier in the store, that same feature is now available to the customer. So all they do is they take a photo of this plant right here. So they go, all right, I'm going to take a photo and identify. And again, within a few minutes, it tells them that it's the Chinese money plant. And also, they can actually reserve or buy this right from here. So all they do is click the button and it opens the Power Apps portal. It tells them that, look, this is the plan that you need, buy it right from here, right? So this is how we are, through Power Apps, Power Platform, we are enabling small businesses to think differently and operate differently, engage with our customers differently, give them an amazing new experience, and just like create this community of plant lovers, right? So wherever you may be, whatever your desire may be, you have access to the right information and the right knowledge. And ultimately, it's good business for everyone. It's a win-win for everyone. On that note, I will stop. Am I over time? Because we do have like a couple of more slides we would love to show.
Go for it.
Okay, so really quickly, we just wanted to share with you some of the custom connectors that we built. And Neem, do you want to talk through these real quick?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Neem. So in this section, we just want to highlight the custom connector that we used in these apps. So first is the plain ID that you see that its input is the image. You can take a photo or upload a file photo, and then it's going to return the data like plain name, common name, similar image, wiki, and it also can return plain health assessment, but it's under business plain ID, which we don't have it right now. But I saw the update on GitHub, and it looks really cool. Moving on, we use Google Map API. I think that's something people are really excited to see. In this app, I use Direction API and the Map Embedded API that I also use a PCF control that I download from PCF gallery and use it in here to display the value. So in general, we just accept the start point, end point, waypoint is one of the location that we plan to go there. And then it's returned the optimized waypoint orders. And then I have to do some calculation to get the distance and duration, but finally it's turned out pretty cool. Hope that people enjoy it.
Very cool. I saw a question come up. There were a lot in the chat, but one question that came up was related to what you've done here. I'm assuming the answer is yes. The question was, does this take into traffic and like construction delays as it reroutes you? And I'm guessing it does with your calling the Google Map API.
Yes, it does by default. Cool. Yeah.
Very nice. Really neat to see that you were able to pull some components from the community to build your app as well.
Yeah, that's what we can learn from the community. I really appreciate this community. Yeah.
Fantastic. I have one more question for y'all. So I noticed y'all don't work at the same company. Did you meet at the local user group together?
We used to work at the same company. So where Neem works today, Power Objects, that's where I used to work. So we all used to work together. And Akash and I moved on. Neem is still there. So
funny enough, Venkat actually trained both Neem and I. So
yeah.
Oh, neat. That's really cool. Well, thank you all for building this. And as you're going to see in the chat, if you haven't already, I think everybody here wants you to go build this and start selling it tomorrow.
So we have a similar plan. And, really quickly, what you saw was a very quick glimpse. You saw like 3 things, but this is a very elaborate solution. There's a bunch of like model-driven apps for like back office stuff, etc. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Very cool. Very neat. Y'all could do a whole 45 minutes on this, maybe more. That's fantastic. All right, let's bring back our slide here, and then we can get Nicholas going. Thank you all again. That was really awesome. I saw Nicholas is on. Hey, how are you? Good to meet you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And good to meet everyone. And thanks for including me.
Yeah, thanks for being here today to show us your app. I can't wait to see this, how you built this. I've tried to build a couple video games myself in Power Apps, and they didn't turn out as good as yours.
Well, I mean, and still chipping away at it, and still like improving. So, but yeah, whatever I learn, I'm always happy to share.
That's great. Well, I'll let you take it over here and tell us a little about yourself and your app.
Okay, certainly. So yeah, just a quick introduction. My name is Nicholas Nguyen. I am a senior corporate quality resource at Blue Trident Brands, and I've been a Power Platform user for the last 3 years, essentially ever since you killed off InfoPath, and Access Web Apps. These are my contacts. As you can see, when I first started professionally, I did not even know how to use Excel, but I think it speaks to a general story for a lot of Power Platform users, which is you find a problem and your next step is to find tools, and then your third step is to learn those tools and teach it to yourself. So I found that to be a very common story among like a lot of our users. So this is my family, my daughter and my wife, and I actually started out with the exact opposite problem of Rory. So a couple of times I found out a couple of weeks I was actually waking up late. I was oversleeping. And it turned out the reason why is because my daughter kept on taking my phone, and in the morning before I fell asleep, she would download games, play them on my phone, turn off my alarm because, you know, she's in the middle of something. And, you know, when I finally wake up, I find my phone has a lot more apps than I remember it. So one day she came to me.
I've had that happen to me too before.
I know, right? And, you know, and one day she came to me with a bunch of construction paper, and let's see if I can share my screen real quickly, and said, hey, this is a game I want to make. Can we make this game? And the game was called Fight the Rattlesnake. So we made it in PowerPoint, and already she could tell something was wrong. She said, hey, nothing happens if you jump on it or if they miss. So, you know, at 5 years old, she had a intuitive idea of the problems of game design. So that's not bad. So I tried harder on the second game that I made for my daughter. And this time I'll try to see if I can share my phone. 1 second. Oh, perfect. And this is the next game we made, and it is.
How long did it take you to build this app?
So I would say, and you know, honestly, this is probably my answer for every app I've made. It took 2 days for it to work, and it's still going now just to make it good.
Know the feeling. That's exactly how much time it took to build our app too. The same story, 2 days and then polish it up.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So you are a kitty and you're running endlessly. If you grab a heart, you get a power up. If you hit the spikes, ow, that hurts. You punch, don't fall. Ah, there's an angry bird. Oh, wait, but if you get, oh no, okay, I lost. Okay, so I was going to show you the power up, so I guess I'll have to do it again. All right. Okay, so 1 second. I think I had a
See it again.
Okay, there we go. Okay, and let me see if I can get this. So it's hard to talk and play at the same time, but let me see if I can get this while, if the power up will come up again. Let's see.
I didn't notice the animation before in your cat's face when I saw it on the smaller screenshot.
Oh yeah, it's. Let's see. So I can't take credit for that. I've received all the assets were taken from Open Game Art, but you know, definitely like there were some modifications that we had to make in order to make the game work. You know what? It's hard to get that power up, but let me see if I can get it within this next turn. Okay.
So you said you got your assets for the game from a website?
Yes, like I went to the Open Game Art community, and let's see. So there's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of assets and resources for game making in general, and I applied that to, but none of them for Power Apps. So, that's that's definitely a new field. So we, use that. And then like my daughter, of course, had all the veto power. She decided, oh no, not a dog running game, but a cat running game. And she chose the enemy. I told her like want something a little bit nicer than like dinosaurs fighting rattlesnakes, but it's like let's see.
It's hard to play the game with everyone's chat coming up too, I'm sure.
I appreciate. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that was like a quick trap. If you jump there and you miss it, okay. Let's see. Where's the hidden coin? It's a little bit like the golden snitch of the game. Oh,
you have an Easter egg built into it?
Oh yeah. But I missed it the first time. Like, let's see. But I'm lasting longer than usual. And okay. Let's see. I think you saw a little. I think you saw a little bit of it earlier. Like when the cat flies, there's a coin that pops out randomly, and every time that you grab the coin, you get to be invincible. The cat flies and becomes invincible, just like in real life. And basically, that's when you can get all the power-ups. But let's see, that's where you can get all the power-ups. And let's see, grab the health while avoiding the issues. So you see like how the heart there is hidden in the landscape. It's actually impossible to reach if you're the cat, but if you're oh man, maybe I can make it. Oh no, I missed it. Okay.
I saw it. Yeah.
Let's see. So I'll put a pause here, and then I'll share back to my screen. So the idea of the game is like everything character is going to be endlessly running in a background that will continually progressively generate as you go over time. So one of the things I added was to add gesture controls, and it's actually fairly straightforward. For gesture controls, basically we have a slider that's the size of the screen but also transparent. When we go into invincible mode, we switch the control to a different slider, and the jump action of the character is a parabolic motion based on time and the player's Y component. Let's see, for the background to continually scroll, what happens is we have like two basic blocks that are used as kind of paste blocks. And so that way it creates a continually scrolling motion where once one block moves off screen, it moves behind the second block. So you always see, if you cover this right now, you always see what essentially is an infinite motion. And then if you can switch speeds, you can make the ones in the back slower than the ones in the front. And let's add some images attached to it. Add it closer, and then you have parallax motion, which gives an illusion of depth for your game. And then the game itself uses a type of collision detection where I take a variable that's set by the position of the block against the other blocks, and if it reaches a certain point, like platform off, it updates the Y property of the player block. So everything here is just blocks touching each other. So you can see here, if I put a cat that's tied to the position of the block, then I have a cat that's running infinitely. Let's see, if I want to have a triangle, let's see, I basically just create similar concept, except now the height of the cat is updated relative to its position on the triangle. So here we can see here, this would work. So now the cat's running off the triangle. Let's make the triangle Let's make it a little bigger. So now we're going to put it above the crevice. So now the cat's running above there. And then finally, every time the cat runs off screen, I create a random function which will update the size of the platform. So we're able to create an endlessly changing set, a randomly generated, progressively set background that if you play, you know, if you last past 5 minutes, you won't ever repeat the same game world twice. And you know, and these are concepts that I've been able to put into many other different games. These aren't quite as, you know, developed to the same point, but here we have a shooter game which is again controlled by a slider. So on your tablet, you'll again be using gesture controls. Avoid the meteors.
Fantastic. So I see you flip your collision detection around a little.
And even like yeah, and even Pong using pretty much the same like general concepts.
Love it.
But yeah, currently like these different solutions are being put into different games that have been based on around what my daughter really has been downloading. So when she downloads something, I'll try to reverse engineer that in Power Apps. You know, and for me, it was a great break because, you know, I do work with a lot of Power Apps professionally, and sometimes you need a break after trying to physically align a lot of labels and figuring out like, you know, gallery filter formulas. So, you know, this was something that kind of still stretched your mind, you know, sharpened some of the Power App skills, but, you know, really like created a lot of interesting problem solving solutions that made you think differently than what you would normally get in business apps. And, you know, even the concept itself, I think, has a lot of opportunity, you know, in that same field. And I've been pitching it, you know, at different times, like, you know, gamification, like in the most literal sense, as a training tool, as a teaching tool. Let's see. And in those cases, I don't think my daughter will have veto power, but in this case, she got to not only decide what the main character looked like, but also name the app. So thank you again for taking a look at Kitty Run, which is named by my daughter, Valerie Nguyen.
Awesome. Thank you for presenting it. I love how you show these pieces behind the scenes here to help us conceptualize and understand how you built all the different pieces and they lay on top. Very helpful. Now, did you upload your app to the gallery too?
No, not yet. I'm actually going to set it up in my GitHub. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Shortly, so. And I did start a YouTube channel where I've been going through kind of like a detailed work through of the making of the app.
Awesome.
Let's see. So the first series is called Making Kitty Run. And, you know, we talked about how the timer is used to create the endless motion. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the next cases we'll try to explain some of the other game apps that we made as well. And by we, I mean myself and my daughter.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing it.
All right, thank you.
Super. Okay, that brings us to our last app of the day. So this app happens to be one that I had something to do with and everybody that I work with every day. And this app is the Sports Stats Tracker. We haven't had a better name for it yet, but a lot of people came together to build this. So that's me on the right, obviously. Matt's on the left. Matt's going to do a demo of this one. Sarah's on the call too. And so I'll give you a little heads up on everybody here and what we did on it. So Matt, I had the idea. I talked to Matt about it. Matt was like, that sounds fun. Let's do it. So Matt and I kind of pulled together a prototype of it and we got it working end to end, and it looked really bad. And then Damien, we looked in Damien on our team, and Damien helped us organize the screens better and put a really nice flow into it so it made sense in our UX. And then Sarah came along and made it not just organized, but she made it look really pretty and did our design on it. And then when we were done with all that, Hubert took the design and applied it to our Power App. And so we build Power Apps like this all the time, really, in real life too. And so we were all very familiar with these roles and kind of how to hand it off to each other and do that. So I know we're pretty over on time, so I'm going to go quick through my part here. So why do we make this app? Well, the app started as an idea during my son's lacrosse practice a couple months ago. And it started out because we were talking about one of the moms who helped record stats for the team and how she actually didn't even see her son score a goal one time because she was so busy looking at the stat book recording it. So our process used to work like this. We had two people recording stats. We had one person who I'll call the spotter. And that person watches the game and they audibly say out loud when they see something happen. Like number 1 got an assist, or number 2 got a ground ball, or number 3 scored a goal. The recorder is listening to that and trying to watch the game, but they're looking up and down the whole time, and they're looking at the stat sheet in our stat book, and they're trying to listen to what that person said and find the spot and mark it down. And right at that moment is when someone missed their kid scoring a goal. And when I heard about that at practice, I was like, that stinks. I was like, we got to find a better way. So then everyone on this call probably knows this, right? Like people know you as the computer guy. And so all of a sudden it turns out, oh, Todd, you should make an app like that. And hence the idea was hatched. So the idea was create an app where we don't have to have two people doing it, and you don't need to touch a paper and pencil and look down. And you can look at the game the whole time and watch your own little personal all-star go out there and make fun plays and enjoy that part of your life. And so that's how this app came about. Let me tell you how it works. We have this deck available after the call too if you want to dive in more. I'm not going to touch on every detail because we're over time, but I'll give you a high-level overview of what's happening. We start in the top left and we say something to our Power App, like number 12 goal, number 14 assist. It's exactly how we will say it into the Power App. Then that Power App takes that audio data, the actual audio data that we recorded, and it throws it at a flow. And it also throws the ID of the game, as you'll see in our app. Which game are we doing this stat for? After that, from this point all the way till we get back to purple, we're in a flow. The first thing the flow does is it has to go out and call an Azure function to use FFmpeg to convert the audio format to WAV. The reason we have to do that is because Azure Cognitive Services, on our next step, will take that WAV file and then turn that speech into text. And so at this point, this is actually what it looks like. We said number 12 goal, number 14 assist. It's exactly what we're getting back from Cognitive Services at this point. We're like, sweet, it knew what we said. So we then split this into an array, and we split on the word number, which gives us exactly what our stats are and which player recorded them in the shape of an array. Now, I made that sound like, oh, that was easy to do. We just ran split. Matt and I sat around for hours trying to figure out the right way to do this and get us to the point where we could iterate through it. The reason we wanted to split is because sometimes action's fast in sports, right? Sometimes you may need to say number 12 goal, number 13 assist right after each other, or other rapid fire statistics. And you can't just record and wait till it records in the database and then try to remember what else happened and hit record again. So we wanted to be able to hit record, say a bunch of things, and then say go process. So that's why we needed to come up with the array. After we've got the array, we convert it to digits with an Azure function. Shout out to Matthew Devaney and Bob German on this one. I didn't know how to go about this. I put a shout out on Twitter. People came back and said, hey, Todd, here's a library that'll do that. I said, perfect. Because what I needed to do is we needed to take this 12 and turn it into a number 12 so we could do easier database lookups and assigning statistics. So we did that inside of an Azure function too. Then we're back in flow. As you can see, the whole way through its flow, there's some connections to Dataverse as well. we figure out which stat was recorded, and we put it in a variable. So we're looping through the array here in this whole gray section row by row. The first time I go through here, you can see I'm going to get goal as my stat, and I'm going to get 12 as the player who did it. Now that I have all that, we're essentially doing what we like to call the upsert, right? Basically, if the record for this particular player in this game for this stat has not been recorded, then insert a record. If not, then figure out if they've already recorded a stat, what is their current, how many times they recorded the stat in the game, and increment it by 1. And so that's really all of what this is doing here. I'm not going to go into them one by one. I bet most of you probably read it already. So essentially, that's what we do. We loop through one at a one, and then we go in the Dataverse and insert or update, depending on if the player's recorded the stat. And eventually, it will look like this in this example I have here. We do have some variables that we need to set that allow us to do this upsert type operation. So we have to reset those before we go to the next row in our array. And when we're finally done, then we head back to Power Apps. So that's what this does. And now Matt is actually going to show you it working.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. Won't spend too much time here. Just wanted to have an opportunity to show my beautiful family off. So that's what this slide's all about. But yeah, okay, that's me. Let's jump forward. So I'm going to go ahead and share the app. I'm going to just share the app window here. Okay, so here's the app. I have the screen in a kind of form layout because we did our phone layout because we built it for a phone form factor. So this is our home screen. On the home screen, we can do different things. We can start a new game process, which we'll do in a second, or we can view previous games. So they have the game date, who the teams were, what the final score was if it's been logged. If the home team won, we have a little trophy to signify that, and then you can just click on here to view those game details. We have a nice little top image with drop shadow, and which is kind of a nice, unique idea that Sarah built in with the design. So let's go ahead and go through the process. So we'll click on Record Game. The first screen is we need to set when the game date was. So we'll say it's today. And home team will be the Eagles, and the opponents will be the Sharks. So we'll go save and continue. All right, so here we are at the recording screen. So using the voice input control, so I'm going to go ahead and simulate this. So here we go. Number 12, goal. Number 14, assist. Number 7, penalty. And then when we're done, we hit the button again, and you can send just one stat or multiple, as we've shown. So right now it's running through that process. It's converting the file to WAV. It's going through Azure Cognitive Services, and you can go ahead and continue. But what's nice is it's going to return back the stats that we sent. And the first time the function runs, it takes a second. But here we can see below. We can see 12 goal, 14 assists, 7 penalty. If we need to make any changes, we can certainly do that. If we set a stat that didn't exist or you got confused there for a second, you can click on these guys and change that up to an approved stat for this game. So we'll go ahead and we can either submit and record more, or we can review stats. So let's go and review stats. Okay, so right here we can see the current stat record. So we have our numbers, and then we have the stats. So you can see a goal here for this guy, an assist, and then a penalty. So recorded everything nicely. If you'd like, you can go ahead and edit a row if you'd like, if you got some time and you want to fill in some names. So let's say Todd. So we can go ahead and lock in the players' names at any point. Or we can even add a whole new record manually. We can go back to record more stats, or we can do save and continue if that's that. And you can put in the final score here. So obviously the Eagles got a win. And so we'll say save and go home. Okay, and here we have it. 5-2, Eagles versus the Sharks. Got the little trophy because we won, so you can go ahead and click on view to go back in. If you need to do any edits, add any mistakes or anything like that. Say Matt. Okay, and then go ahead and save that. All right, so we'll go save and go home. Okay, so that's our interface for this. All right, thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, so that's our app, everybody. That's essentially what it does and how it goes about it there. The thing I'd like to point out about the app as well is we dialed this in for lacrosse because that's the sport my son was playing at the time we thought this up. But you could change this for anything, right? This could be soccer, baseball, basketball. I mean, you name it. All you have to do is change the stat name columns and things like that, and you're good to go. I was going to deep dive into how we constructed our Upsert, but given the time that we're over, I'm not going to spend some time on that. I'm sure you could check that out. Matt and I will be making some videos about these going forward to kind of deep dive on the code inside of them. Another thing that I was going to deep dive is how to set a lookup field value inside. But more importantly, I would like to say thank you to all these people who wrote all these articles. Only 2 of these articles came from Microsoft, like themselves. Every single other article or add-in we found here is something that I kept track of along the way that helped us figure this out. And as you look through, you see name after name after name of someone in there. We didn't invent how to do this end to end. We took what other people had did in little pieces and we put it all together to build our app. So thank you to everybody. And this was the first time I'd ever seen the metadata browser for Dynamics 365 or Power Apps. And if you're not using that and you're doing Power Apps, you really should go check it out. It makes your life way easier. All right. So that's it for the apps. Now it's time to have some fun and pick who wins this year. So do y'all see this little button up here in Teams for Slido? I don't know if you've already discovered it during the call or not, but we have a poll open and it's our live poll here to pick this year's winner. You can also go down to aka.ms/demo vote. And if you do that, Chuck, do you remember what the pin was? Was it 645149?
You actually don't need the pen if you click on that link. It's embedded.
Beauty. Oh, yeah, that's right. So start voting.
And we've got 96 votes out of the 100 and change that are on the call. So the voting is happening. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Very cool. So call's not over. Keep voting. We're going to go through the rest of it and then come back in a couple minutes after everyone's had a chance to vote and see who won. Thanks again, everybody, for presenting all these fun apps today. Okay, so we're going to move into the resources section of the call right now. And these are all great places you can go in addition to all the people you saw present here today. You can go find training resources, interact with the community in forums, go find samples, videos, Rory's Power Platform Learn resources. We put that up here every month too, because it's such a great resource to go to. And now the new Patterns and Practices Power Platform samples as well. So many great places to go learn this technology. Okay, let's move on to recent news. Don't forget, vote for your apps. All right, here we go. So the news here, it's pretty easily captured in 2 bullet points. The first one is the 2021 release Wave 2 plan. So basically everything Microsoft is planning in the Wave 2 release with Power Platform here, go read up on it there. You'll see all the new up and coming things, what's brand new, what's getting enhanced, etc. And then Chuck told me about this one this morning. I didn't know this was going on. There's a Power Virtual Agents Community Challenge for all communities. So if you're into Power Virtual Agents and you're working on those, check that out. That's a fun little community challenge for everyone as well. And I have been so busy presenting and doing other things today, I haven't even looked at the attendees. Is April here today? I bet she is.
She is. I saw her earlier.
Super. Maybe she's not here. Okay, well, I'll talk about it on her behalf. So we would like to thank everybody who's contributed in May and June, as you can see there, to the PNP Power Platform Sample Gallery. You'll find all kinds of things in that gallery. You'll find components, functions, templates, flows, Power BI reports, even PVAs. So if you're looking for great samples and ways to kickstart what you're working on, we definitely think that you should go check that out. Okay, and that brings us to other things going on in the community. And don't forget, go vote. We're about to figure out who won. All right, so the community, other things that are very much like this call. We have the Power Addicts Hangout, and you can go to wearepoweraddicts.com to learn more about it. And so this is a call much like the one we have right here, where folks just get together, talk about Power Apps and what they're learning, and help each other out. In addition to that, you can join the Less Code, More Power video series. This one's not really a call you dial into, but more of videos that you will find on the internet. And so Donna and Sarah always have people come in and they do their videos shorter. They're like 5 to 10 minute videos. So you can find snacky little conversations like that, good things to watch at lunch or a break during the day to learn all kinds of great things about this tech. No shortage of video series, are there nowadays? We also have the Powerful Devs video series, and April and Greg host this one. So I also encourage you to check that out. Just one avenue after another of great places to go find information about Power Apps. So I guess that brings us to our moment of truth. So I have the chat open. I didn't see who won here. Let's open it up and figure out who won.
It's actually really close.
Waiting for it.
It's
What do we got? Number puzzle. Oh, pandemic response inches out one bit closer. Oh my gosh, it's a 1% win for number puzzle. Way to go. That's awesome. Congratulations. And I think everybody here is a big winner. I mean, we all had fun here today and everybody got to see all these great apps, and that's awesome. Krishna, do you have anything to say about number puzzle and being our next champion?
Thank you so much. It's as you said, it's everybody's winner. It's just number of votes doesn't matter, and I have seen truly a lot of complex apps that were built, like Venkat and many other like yours and everybody's. As you said, there are 20 more people who really worked hard to build other apps as well. I really wanted to see other apps as well, and everybody's a winner. It's just a number.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's great.
And I want to add.
And what's going to be fun is having everybody else who submitted come on in the coming months, so we can keep up the fun on these great little demo apps, or very big demo apps like the one Venkat and Rory made. Super. Well, congratulations and thank you again, everybody.
Thank you.
We would like to let you know that this recording will be available on the Office 365 Developer YouTube channel, and you can watch it there in the future. And each individual demo here will be cut up into its own video too. So they'll all stand on their own and be able to be watched as well. So if you have some coworkers or friends or whoever who didn't get to see you do your thing today, you'll definitely be able to forward that to them in the future. So thanks again, everybody. We couldn't do this without everybody here. I mean, we just host this call and you know, pull it together. But it's really everybody who took the time to build these apps and show them here today that made this call so great. So thank you again. And we will see you next time on August 18 next month at 8 a.m. Pacific. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.